road trip. We got entertainment. We got snacks. We got cats. Welcome back to Arlo's Bevy. Traveling with your pet can be stressful for, well, both you and your pet, but it doesn't have to be. Join Arlo's Bevy as I take you through how my cats travel best for periods of time from 15 minutes up to 7 days in the car. Let's talk travel. People travel for many reasons. Adventure, visiting friends and family, to find yourself. But why do we feel, at least in the case of cats, that our companions, well, can't come? Usually, I get most popular answers such as Fluffy doesn't travel well, or Fluffy only really goes to the vet and back, or Fluffy hates his carrier and uses it as a washroom. These are all pretty valid reasons, but I think that they're reasons that can be, well, fixed, or at least resolved from a young age when our cats are kittens. The Journal of Veterinary Behavior, Clinical Applications and Research found that cats really do bond with their people and can even develop separation anxiety in their person's absence. So let's look at some ways we can make traveling with felines a little bit more positive and a desired reality. After all, wouldn't you want your fur baby to be along for the adventure, bond with your people, and aid in your self-discovery? I just want to mention that all of my cats were adopted from young ages, such as 3 months to anywhere between 6 months, and I started traveling with them almost immediately at that point to various different places with various different time frames worth of traveling. So these cats have been used to traveling from a young age, and I do really think that that does help with their traveling abilities later in life. Step 1, plan a trip. For the moment, we're just going to be covering road trips because they're the easiest kind of trip to cover. So the first thing you want to have is a reliable vehicle with adequate room for a litter box and your feline to move around. Do remember that cats like different levels within their habitated space. So if you can pack things so that they can sit on top of them at various levels, that's always a plus. Next, you're going to want to plan a route with pit stops for yourself where you can lead the vehicle and your kitty, of course, in the vehicle. But do that so that they're in view of you at all times. You don't want to leave your cat unattended in the car for longer than 5 or 10 minutes, mostly due to weather. Obviously, in the summer it's warm, and in the winter it is cold, and this could stress the animal. So we don't want that. And of course, you don't want to leave the car running with the animal in it, because there is potential for them locking you out of your car, depending on what you drive. In addition to this, people that are around the area may think this animal is unattended and try to take matters into their own hands, which of course is probably not good for you or your vehicle. So it is better to keep your animal and your car in sight of you and not leave for very long periods of time with your animal in the car, of course. Then we're going to want to make sure we have pet-friendly accommodations with a check-in time similar to your arrival time at your destination, so that your cat is not left in the car for long periods that they don't need to be. Step 2 is to pack for your kitty. So first things first, we want to select a good bag to carry all of your kitty's things. I personally use a thermal bag, as I do feed my cats raw food, so they have frozen and refrigerated portions of their diets that need to stay cold while traveling. So I want to make sure that I am packing in such a fashion that allows for that. Next, you want to lay out everything you need so you know you are not forgetting anything, which is a huge one because it is very annoying when you get to your destination and realize you didn't pack, say, a water bowl, and now you have to go and get one. I always ask myself 4 questions when I'm packing for my cats. The first one is, do they have everything they need to eat and be fed? So this includes bowls, food, for my cats, additives, raw food, stuff like that, as well as forks for you in case wherever you're going doesn't have any, and any other utensils or dishes you may need to feed your kitty. Second, do they have a water source? Have you packed a water bowl where you can give them a water source? 3, do they have a washroom? So, where is your litter box? Is it a travel litter box that you only take out when they travel? Or is it a litter box from home that you can put a lid on and bring a scoop? Either way, you want to make sure that they have a litter box that is going to stay with them and be available the entire trip, even in the car. And 4, do they have enrichment or any other comfort items they may need? So this means, do they have toys? Do they have something to do while you're not at your accommodations, wherever you may be going? And do they have any comfort items such as a bed to make them feel that their scent is there and your scent is there and they haven't been abandoned? In addition to this, for long trips, I do like to bring a scratching post that is short enough to fit and stand up in the back of the car, just because it gives them multiple layers to stand on, as well as giving them an area to scratch and giving them an area that smells like them. In addition to all of that, I do want to make sure that I bring all medical documentation for each animal in case you have to prove that they are vaccinated for whatever reason. It's just good to have in general. Step 3 is to set up the car and pack all your other belongings such as luggage, etc. We want to make sure when we're packing the car that we're leaving places for the cat to move and get up on and move between bags. Additionally, you want a place for the cat to be able to sleep or rest that is just their space, so there's nothing that could possibly fall on them. Additionally, you want to make sure between the sleeping and resting space that there is an easy, clear path to get to the litter box, so it's accessible. And Last but not least, you want to make sure that there's easy access for you to get to your cat and your cat to get to you during the long drive. And then the only other thing that we want to make sure is that their carrier that they will be transported to and from the vehicle in has a space where it can sit open, as this can often be used as a safe place for your cat to go if they may be scared. Step 4 is carrier time. So first of all, you may need to find your kitty. Some cats will jump into their carriers willingly, or at least come to the door and somewhat cooperate, whereas others may feel the need to hide and may need some assistance in getting into their carriers. So before we put them in their carriers, we want to put on a harness that is fitted to each cat specifically. We want to make sure we can fit 2 fingers between the neck, like the skin on the neck, and the outside of the harness. Same thing for the belly. And then we want to secure them with a leash that is safe on the harness as well. Then put them, their harness and leash, all into the carrier and make sure that they are secure. So make sure that carrier is done up well. I do like to transport my cats with a leash on for the portion of the trip going to and from the vehicle, only because if for whatever reason the carrier did fail, you have a greater chance of possibly catching that cat if it does get out, if there's a leash trailing after it. And the harness is extremely important because it stays on during the car ride, and it does allow you to somewhat control better your animal's movements throughout the car and remove the cat most importantly from places they are not supposed to be if they tend to go there, in doing so in a humane manner. There are a few different types of carriers for cats. My personal favorites are the backpacks, just because it makes it easier for loading them in and out of the car, because you can just throw them on your back and they can go along for the ride, but they still remain upright. And this is important because cats can often feel very disoriented and nervous if they don't have their paws underneath them. I've also found that soft carriers versus hard shell carriers are a little bit more calming, and the cats see them more as a bed as opposed to a carrier itself, although this does vary with every cat, of course. Step 5 is car time. So now that we have our cat with its harness and leash secured in its carrier, we can transport it to the vehicle. Once we get to the vehicle, we want to make sure that there is no escape route, and then we can let the cat out of the carrier and take off the leash. This is a optional step. If you would like to leave the leash on, you can. It's whatever you think. I just find they usually get tangled if there's a leash attached. But leave the harness on. Then you're going to get yourself ready to drive. Make sure you have music on, your GPS set up, seatbelt on, and the car is all good to go. Then you just want to make sure that everybody is ready and you're ready to go. So the most important thing while driving is to have either someone else in the car responsible for keeping the cats on the passenger side of the vehicle, especially when you're starting out driving with cats, because we don't want them getting down near the driver's feet. Of course, that is a major hazard and very dangerous, so we want to make sure that that does not happen. My cats, as I said, have been driving since they were a young age, so they do know that they are not allowed down on the floor by the driver's feet and will not even really try to go there. The most they do is try to sit on my lap or my shoulders while I'm driving, which is fine as long as they are settling down and not causing any distractions. Step 6, arrival. Now that you have arrived at your destination, all safe and sound with your kitty intact, we are going to put your kitty back in the carrier. Then we're going to leave the kitty in the car. We're going to go and check in at whatever accommodations you have arranged and then inspect your room or place that you're staying for any feline hazardous materials, anything they could get into that they probably shouldn't get into, like plants or anything that hangs as far as decorations, anything that you see may be an issue that you would have removed already at home for your cat. Then you're going to bring your kitty in and leave them in the carrier in the middle of the accommodation. Next, you can bring in and set up the litter box in whatever place you feel is the best place for it to be at that accommodation. Then, bring in all other luggage or other things that you'd like in your accommodation. After all of this is done, now you can open the carrier and you may remove your harness and leash from your cat, but leave your cat in the carrier so it can come out on its own time. The next thing that you're going to do is sit on the floor with your kitty for about 10 to 20 minutes as your kitty does eventually come out of the carrier, then explores and sniffs everything in its new arrangement. Somewhere in this time frame when your kitty does come towards you, reassure them, pet them, give them verbal praise, and then pick them up and put them in whatever litter box location you chose and leave them there. They will get out of the litter box on their own, but now know where the litter box is in case they do need it. Once your kitty is a little bit more comfortable, you can put away any food from your cooler and set out water and toys for them to play with and drink while you are away. And last but not least, go have fun. And of course, everything is done in reverse to go home.
Look at her skating so good. Skating like a good little penguin.
Hey Arlo, why would you want to travel with us?
I'm your kitty. I am most comfortable and safe when I am with you, even if that's in a new place.
Hey Arlo, what's your least favorite part of traveling?
Probably the car ride. That's not too bad as long as I have everything I need. Oh, and snuggles with words of encouragement from you.
Hey Arlo, would you rather stay home with a stranger, go to a boarding facility, or come with us when we travel?
With you. I am most happy when I am with my people.
Hey Arlo, what was the longest car ride you've ever done?
When Luna and I moved across Canada with Daddy and you. That was 7 days in the car from Ontario to Alberta.
Hey Arlo, are you looking forward to our next adventure together?
Always.
For this week's catastrophic tendencies, Arlo has been charged with attempted cookie theft and will suffer a sentence of no dental treats at bedtime for 1 day. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. What do you guys think? Was it a good video? Did you like making it?